It is time to leave your worries outside and laugh with us inside the Treehouse. I'm Dan O'Malley, along with Trey Trenholm and Raj Sharma on Wednesday, February 12th, 2025. We've talked a lot on the show in recent weeks and months about OnlyFans content creators, OnlyFans porn stars, and not just because they're known entities that might pop up in a search engine optimized situation for the show. Not just for that reason, mainly because they make great content fodder and they keep on giving. Bonnie Blue has been one of those OnlyFans porn stars that keeps on giving, not just to all of her fans, but to us here inside the Treehouse. Bonnie Blue is the one we've talked a lot about recently, that she claims to have broken the world gangbang record, having bedded 1,057 dudes in one day. The previous world record holder from, I forget when, was porn star Lisa Sparks. And she had bedded 919 guys in 24 hours. Bonnie Blue says she broke that record by nailing 1,057 guys in not 24 hours, but in 12. So, I bet that was just an enjoyable experience by everybody. And now she's run into a bit of a hiccup, because she posts all of her content on OnlyFans, because that's where she gets the bulk of her money, is OnlyFans subscriptions. And OnlyFans has pulled the rug out from underneath her by removing her video where she claims to have bedded the 1,057 guys in one day, because OnlyFans says, oh, no. OnlyFans is for one person, not for a revolving door of people that are not on OnlyFans. This is getting interesting. The explicit video has been removed from Bonnie Blue's subscription site after OnlyFans reportedly said the X-rated stunt breached its rules. A spokesman, OnlyFans has one, says OnlyFans is a platform designed for creators who have completed our comprehensive onboarding process and choose to monetize their content. To keep our community safe, OnlyFans also verifies the age, identity, and consent of all parties featured in explicit content on OnlyFans. We do not allow a large number of non-OnlyFans creators to be featured on an account, even where release forms have been provided. So, I mean, that right there is, being honest, and that's a huge punch to Bonnie Blue there.
So the lady that died in Brazil doing the threesome lost her life for no reason.
I've actually, OnlyFans at one point, when it really started to get popular, they changed and their rules, and they took down a bunch of content, and so you had to get basically their release form done in order. And there's some deal about blurring faces and everything else. I mean, they're actually, from what I have read, pretty strict about it.
Mm-hmm. And if we're being honest, I mean, this is a really hard punch to Bonnie Blue and her account, because she put forth, I mean, she did, if everything is correct and based on all the video evidence that we've seen in the regular news, she at least attempted it. She claims to have done the over 1,000 men in one day world record, but the proof in her pudding was on OnlyFans, and OnlyFans just took it down, therefore kind of removing the whole point of having done it in the first place. So now she can't make any money off the stunt. At least, I mean, I don't know if she was able to make some money on it and then they took it away. I don't know how the OnlyFans monetization stuff works. But I mean, that's a huge blow. Sorry.
But you can put it up on like Pornhub or one of those sites.
Yeah, I
charge,
guess you could do that, and that's if if Pornhub or Trey's favorite X-Hamster wants to take on that liability. I did find this. Bonnie Blue, who recorded the jaw-dropping video at a $30,000 mansion famed for hosting illegal sex parties, has previously been vocal about. Yeah. She's previously been vocal about why she makes her controversial content, stating she often rage baits in order to boost subscriptions and ultimately line her pockets. Trey also rage baits.
But not with baby oil.
That's when he's happy baiting. But just imagine you put in all that work, all that effort to line up all those guys. They have to sign all the paperwork, and you let them at it for 12 hours. And then you go to post it, and OnlyFans goes, nah.
But they waited a really long time to take it down.
I don't know how long it was up before they pulled it.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Well, I am sure there are, as popular as OnlyFans has become, I am sure there are 10 other sites that are trying to copy them that would love the content. So I'm going to guess Bonnie's going to be okay.
Eventually.
As soon as
once that thing's done smoking.
Once the penicillin kicks in, everything's going to be fine.
Yeah, maybe WebMD will pick it up and host the video.
You're in the Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com.
If you love guns or hunting, you're going to love Defender Outdoors. Defender Outdoors Shooting Center is 43,000 square feet of guns, gun range, and gun fun. Firearms, ammo, apparel, accessories, and more. Have a bachelor party, birthday, or team building event? All-inclusive packages available for endless entertainment. Training classes are added weekly, and private instruction is always available. Come see why Defender has been voted the best gun range in North Texas 5 years in a row. Visit us at defenderoutdoors.com. Defender Outdoors. Are you a defender?
You're in the Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com.
For all things Treehouse, go to treehouseonair.com. That means things like past shows, links, contact info, and more, all right there on our website, treehouseonair.com. That's treehouseonair.com. Dan O'Malley, along with Trey Trenholm and Raj Sharma with you inside the Treehouse on Wednesday, February 12th, 2025. How far would you go to prove a point? Like this man did in Indiana. A blind man got his license to carry permit to make a point about Indiana gun laws. I mean, that's a lot of effort to go to really point out some stuff. A blind man is raising concerns about Indiana gun laws after he was allowed to get a license to carry a handgun. His name is Terry Sutherland, and he told I-Team 8 in Indianapolis that he got his license to carry permit to prove a point and to try to spark conversations about reasonable gun legislation. He was using his sightseeing stick when he went to the city-county building to get fingerprinted for the license to carry permit. He said he spoke with several people who knew that he was blind. He said, it just went very smoothly and normally, and nobody seemed to think anything about it. It was mind-boggling. It shocked me more than I expected. I thought at the last second somebody would go, wait a minute, and it would just not get approved. I'd get a letter that explained, listen, you can't aim a gun or put a bullet where it's supposed to go, so we're not going to give you this license to carry permit, he said. Well, that didn't happen. Now his license to carry permit sits in a lanyard around his neck. He's not against the Second Amendment. It's important that we note that. Before he lost his sight as a teenager, he learned how to safely use guns with his family, but he said being able to get his permit highlights a problem with Indiana's gun laws. His solution is something some states already do: require people to pass a competency test at a gun range before being allowed to carry a gun in public. A Second Amendment advocate and lawyer challenged Sutherland's idea, saying, we start putting government-imposed restriction on constitutional rights. I always think that's dangerous and inappropriate, and that's not to say people shouldn't be trained, but society always functions better when people exercise personal responsibility and understand of their own volition that they need to be safe and responsible with the gun, blah, 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 blah. Look, he's blind.
I mean, yeah, this is one of the things like Republicans get so wrong. I mean...
I'm for the Second Amendment. Trey's for the Second Amendment. Trey's a Republican. But come on, people.
I'm not like, yeah, I don't like Texas's, that you open carry without any license to carry or anything. It's stupid. If you're going to give people a weapon that can take a life, at least can have a 2-hour course.
I think that's fair.
That they can see.
Yes, if nothing else, just see if they can. I'm not even asking that they be 20/20. I'm not saying that they have to use night sights in darkly lit areas. I'm just saying that maybe it's not a great idea to give a gun permit to a blind guy.
Yeah. I mean,
what are the gun laws in Indiana if blind people can get a gun?
Flexible.
Easily repealed. I don't know. And who does that?
He brings up a valid point.
We need to get him on this show.
What do you think he'd have a better chance at finding? His phone to call us or his gun?
Well, maybe if his phone is in the lanyard.
Be pretty bad, though, if he started dialing on his SIG. Boop, beep, pop, beep. Whoops.
We have a guest down.
Oh,
yeah, that's
man.
a little bit ridiculous. Yeah, I'm not a gun guy, but I think vision's important.
I think I'm just gonna make that. I think I'm gonna make that a still image and post it places. I'm not a gun guy, but vision is important. That's a fair statement. It's like, Raj, like you said, you're not a gun guy. Trey and I, at different degrees, are gun guys, and there's certainly an area here where we have found some middle ground that we all can agree on. If you have a gun, we think it's important that you're able to see.
Yes. Although I would like to see a reboot of the Jason Bourne movies with a blind guy.
You know what? While we're at it, I mean, if there's a 21st century version of Helen Keller wandering around, send her into Indiana to see if she can get a permit as well.
I mean, I think a blind woman,
vampire killer.
I think a blind woman is a little pushing it a little too far, Dan.
That's at Trey Trenholm 1.
I mean, don't be ridiculous.
I'm not laughing at Trey's joke. I'm laughing at knowing that this was the moment that the show got canceled.
And I'll tell you, you're correct during the break.
You're listening to the Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com.
I feel good knowing that somewhere some woman and some man just spit their morning coffee all over their windshield.
I'm surprised y'all didn't start singing "Not Like Us."
You're listening to the Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com.
Do you like to watch? Well, you can watch us. You can watch the Treehouse on YouTube. Just search for the Treehouse Show podcast on YouTube, or you can go directly to our channel, youtube.com/@treehouseonair. That's youtube.com/@treehouseonair. Treehouse is on YouTube. Treehouse TV. Tune in today. Dan and Trey and Raj with you inside the Treehouse today. Wednesday, February 12th, 2025, the day that the show died, because Trey killed it with that absolutely deplorable women and guns joke. It's terrible. It's despicable. How dare you make such a demeaning joke? Speaking of women and doing things that they shouldn't be doing, a woman was arrested recently because she taunted police on Facebook. When will the criminals learn? Do not taunt the police, especially don't taunt the police on the social media. This is not the first example of this type of story that I've heard and told and reported on. And I know it's not going to be the last, because while all the vaccines and medical research and advancements that our human race has achieved in its short time of existence, there is still no cure for stupid. But that's also why this show exists. So thank you. A woman who taunted police by commenting, "Hey guys," on her own wanted posting. On her own wanted posting on Facebook, she's been arrested.
Okay.
Greater Manchester police located the woman, who's not been named, hiding under a pile of children's toys at a home in Manchester. The 22-year-old was arrested on suspicion for failing to appear at court for 3 counts of assault on an emergency worker, drug offenses, and theft. She was further arrested on suspicion of assaulting a police officer. She remains in custody for questioning by detectives. I imagine they've gotten around to that by now, but body-worn video from the arrest at the end of January showed officers uncovering the woman hiding underneath piles of children's toys. One officer is heard communicating with others, saying, "She's here," as he lifts the toys off of her body. The police said, "We want to thank everyone who engaged with our social media post on Facebook. It ultimately helped us locate and arrest this woman, and we have dedicated teams of officers across Manchester who are actively seeking and arrested those who are wanted." So again, if you are wanted by the police and the police post on their Facebook page, "You are wanted," don't comment underneath it at all, but especially don't taunt them with a "Hey guys" post. Gone are the days of the Zodiac Killer and the the very difficult to break codes and ciphers and the mystery that we still don't actually know who the Zodiac Killer is or was. But I feel very confident that if the Zodiac Killer tried everything that he did in the 70s, if he tried it today, he'd probably be caught. Not because he's going to post on Facebook, "Hey guys," under his legal name, but because they could probably use technology to find him, through cell phone tracking and all sorts of crazy law enforcement tech advances that exist today. But don't you gotta, like, when you go to jail, don't you want to go into jail with some type of swagger? It's like, okay, you got caught. Well, everyone in there got caught. But don't you want to be sort of like the cock of the walk type person? Like, yeah, I'm cool. I'm a badass. No one messed with me. And then when someone asks you, "Hey, how'd you get caught?" And you're like, "Oh, I said, hey, on Facebook." That's not cool. That's not going to, create any sort of a legend or intimidation status in prison.
Yeah, and then where did they find you? Under a bunch of kids' toys. And they yelled, "She's here." I'm surprised she didn't yell, "Not it." Under the Fisher Price, my first warrant.
And I don't know if it's because I got Zodiac on the brain because I just watched a documentary on it and then watched the Zodiac movie, which I had never seen but always intended to. So that's on the brain. But it really is. It's like, even thinking about Ted Kaczynski, the Unabomber, did the same thing. Would send letters to the FBI, didn't he? And taunt authorities who had been tracking him. Eventually, he got caught as well. But I mean, at least it took a while.
Yeah, he got caught because his brother turned him in. That's how he got caught. And then Son of Sam got caught because he was double parked.
Jesus,
I can't even make that up. Like they stopped.
But again, all of those people that we just mentioned, legends of crime, none of them got caught because they stupidly taunted the police. They taunted police, some of them, but they did it in a different fashion. This is just so stupid. Hey guys,
but they were also men.
Can we get through this episode?
So you're saying the women were the woman stupid, and that
it wasn't Jane the Ripper. You know what I mean? I'm just saying.
Damn, Trey. I think I might turn us in.
You're in the Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com. You're in the Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com.
The RMS Treehouse Listeners Foundation benefits the families of DFW area police officers and firefighters killed in the line of duty. To donate, go to treehouseonair.com and click on donate. Once again, go to treehouseonair.com and click on donate. We appreciate it very much. Dan O'Malley and Trey Trenholm and Raj Sharma with you inside the Treehouse today, Wednesday, February 12th, 2025. I'm going to do my best to steer us as far away from Trey's misogyny as we can. Okay. So here we go. A certified joy enthusiast has been arrested for attempted murder.
Another woman?
Jesus Christ. Because of the crime or because the certified joy enthusiast?
Both. Actually, no. Yeah, no, because of the crime.
Okay. Certified joy killer.
And it was really poor on your part to use a driving analogy leading into that.
Or was it? An accountant. This is actually a guy. Certified joy enthusiast, whatever the hell that is. A man who touts himself as a certified joy enthusiast attempted to kill a random person who tried sitting on a park bench with him. I'm starting to think that your certified joy enthusiasm certificate might be a fraud. This happened in Denver. A man went on a midday shooting spree, firing at two strangers with a pistol. One he allegedly shot in the neck and jaw after getting into an argument with one of the victims over them sitting on the same park bench as him. According to police, the 28-year-old certified public accountant told the police he believed the individuals were somehow involved in psyops. His name is Ryan Eggleston. He's a licensed CPA who touts himself online as a certified joy enthusiast and small business owner with a deep passion to preach and teach the word of God. Yikes. The victim who was shot in the face, was found after Eggleston randomly opened fire on him. That's according to Denver police. He survived, as did the other individual that Eggleston allegedly shot at, who was the one that tried sitting next to him. So just imagine all you did was sit next to a guy on a bench and he turns around and shoots you in the face. See, now, if this was the blind guy with the gun, he might not have been, he might have had a chance.
He wouldn't know you were sitting next to him. Just be very quiet. You'll be fine. Yeah.
The suspect was involved in a verbal altercation with the first victim when the victim asked if he could sit on the same bench as the defendant. During the altercation, the defendant was observed by several witnesses spitting on the victim, pushing the victim in the chest, and eventually punching the victim once in the lower back. Well, I mean, if you're going to punch somebody in the lower back is really something. The victim then began to walk away while seated on his bicycle, at which time the defendant was observed by witnesses producing a firearm and firing one round at the victim, placing the victim in fear for his life. That's probably pretty accurate. Police say a bullet defect was later found in the rear tire of the victim's bike. Witnesses reported the suspect walking up to the second victim approximately 30 seconds to 1 minute later before opening fire and shooting the person in the face.
My biggest question on that one is, after you hear the first gunshot, why is anyone around?
Well, there was clearly a vacancy on that park bench.
And it's Denver. You're just high all the time, so nobody knows which way to run.
This weed is so good. Oh my God. Oh, it's awesome. Hey, you mind if I sit?
Yeah, that's the power of the Mile High City like that. Yeah, elevation and the weed, the combination, you don't even know you've been shot.
This guy, after police nabbed him, went on to say all sorts of interesting things. When he first off, he made his grand escape in his red Hyundai sedan. He was apprehended by police following a high-risk stop in a pit maneuver that was deployed to immobilize his Hyundai. He claimed in interviews with police that he thought the people that he shot at were part of PSYOPs aimed at him. He also reportedly talked about at length during an appearance on a Christian podcast about the PSYOPs that were out to get him. He also told the host of this podcast, the mark of the beast is here, and it's really AI. So you've got AI, mark of the beast, Jesus, the devil, a park bench. I don't know if drugs are involved in any way, but it wouldn't surprise me. That's a lot of things to pull into your world there, as far as the reasons that you're a little off your rocker. The guy who hosted the podcast is very good, very, very good podcast host, because he told the local news the man's views were to the extreme, I guess you could say.
Yes. Park bench, like you were saying. Jesus, guns. I'm guessing this is a white guy.
It's Denver.
So not only is he white, but he's outdoorsy.
You're in the Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com. You're in the Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com.
Related to none of the actual content of today's show, we would like to welcome inside the Treehouse our newest sponsor, Defender Outdoors in Fort Worth. Fort Worth's premier indoor gun range, open to the public, and memberships are available. Also, they have the Clay Sports Ranch, an unparalleled outdoor shotgun facility also open to the public, and memberships are available. Be sure to use code Treehouse for special discounts in store and online at Defender Outdoors in Fort Worth, Fort Worth's premier indoor gun range. The website, defenderoutdoors.com. That's defenderoutdoors.com. Dan O'Malley, Trey Trenholm, and Raj Sharma with you inside the Treehouse. Today is Wednesday, February 12th, 2025. Let's celebrate with some birthdays. Robert Griffin III turns 35 today. It feels like forever ago, but he actually is a Heisman Trophy winner. He had a phenomenal 1-2 years in Washington before being beat to a pulp and sent packing from the NFL. But he's done well for himself overall, coming out of Baylor back in the day. Robert Griffin, the age of 35 today.
The thing people like, because I saw him because he went to Baylor, and I'm a Texas fan. One thing about RG3 that I just never understood: phenomenal athlete, but I'll never forget. I think they were playing. Washington was playing Seattle, and when
Legion of Boom,
Russell
Westbrook,
no quarterback,
Wilson.
Russell Wilson.
Yeah, that
Russell Wilson was in his prime, and RG3, and it was kind of a big showdown. One of the striking things is Russell Wilson was so smooth, like avoiding getting hit. Like he would slide, whatever. He just never took that big hit. RG3 just got hammered. He never could figure out how to avoid the hit and just took a beating.
I kind of think that, so the NFL takes a lot of flack, deservedly, for the way that it treats its quarterbacks now, because they treat them all with kids' gloves. The rule that was created because of the knee injury that ended one of Tom Brady's seasons, you now can't hit a quarterback below the waist, right? I'm not entirely opposed to that rule. It makes sense because there were a lot of players that were trying to hurt people going after the legs like that. I kind of think a lot of the targeting stuff that is now in the league is there in part because of some of the hits Robert Griffin took when he played. Look, there are lots of examples of horrific hits that were levied by NFL players for years, especially those the crackback blocks that when they would peel back on special teams and just destroy a player blindside. But I think Robert Griffin and some of the hits he took, and I just devastating hits. I think seeing those over and over again played a huge role in trying to lessen some of the, devastating hits in the NFL.
Was it concussions that ended his career?
It was a little bit of everything. I don't know if he had knee problems as well. And
he had already had 3 knee surgeries before he got to the NFL.
Oh, okay. I did not know that.
Yeah. He had 1 in high school and 2 in college.
Yeah.
Still made it there. No.
Still made it there, and he had a great couple of years. His rookie year was phenomenal. That's why nowadays you still got to kind of pump your brakes a little bit if you get a rookie quarterback that does really well. Good example of that right now, not to go too sportsy on you, is Jaden Daniels, also with Washington, who had a phenomenal rookie year, took his team to the NFC title game and lost to the eventual Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles. But that's just his first year.
And one of the knocks with him, much like RG3, he's smaller in size. So it'll be interesting to see how he fares long term.
Yeah. So it's interesting how the NFL can work sometimes. Sometimes you need to take a little time and ease the quarterback into the system to give them a chance at success, like in Aaron Rodgers. I think that was even the case with Russell Wilson. I think he was eased into it a little bit. I don't think he was necessarily thrown immediately in as a starter. There are lots of examples where that's worked out well for the quarterback. But then there's also examples where they threw the quarterback right in, and they still eventually did great. Peyton Manning is one of those. Troy Aikman is one of those. Had horrible first years, but eventually became Super Bowl champion and Hall of Famers. But just because you have a good first year doesn't mean you're going to have a good 20 years, like RG3. Who's 35 today? So happy birthday to him. Christina Ricci is 45 today. Gucci Mane, also 45. He plays Matt Casey on Chicago Fire. Jesse Spencer is 46. He's also Dr. Robert Chase, the longest serving member of House's staff on House. Darren Aronofsky is 56 today. Director of Black Swan, The Wrestler, Noah, and those are the ones I can know. Josh Brolin, who is one of the people who has played more than one character in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. He is 57 today. Of course, played Thanos in the Avengers movies and Cable in Deadpool 2, but was not brought back for the Deadpool versus Wolverine sequel. Arsenio Hall, 69 today.
Wow, he looks great.
He does. You know who doesn't? And it's just because I saw it recently. Will Smith saw the Bad Boys Ride or Die movie. Finally watched that.
Mm-hmm.
I think the whole purpose of that film was because Michael Bay, the director, clearly learned how to use a drone, and he felt like making a movie with it. Will Smith kind of getting that sort of melty look around his cheeks and stuff.
And you know it's bad if you look bad next to Martin Lawrence.
Yep.
Yeah, Martin Lawrence has not shied away from craft services.
Maybe that's why he had Jaden wear that castle on his head just to take some attention at the Grammys.
I'm gonna need you to go look real stupid because my face is melting.
Yeah, everyone's already seen Jada with her boyfriend, so he needed something else.
How do you leave the house like that? Like, boy, don't forget your castle.
You said you wanted it so bad, now you gotta wear it.
You're in the Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com. You're in the Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com.
You can get even more Treehouse when you subscribe to Treehouse Plus on Patreon. Patreon.com/TreehouseOnAir to subscribe to Treehouse Plus. Bonus content and subscriber-only episodes, including video. You can watch our smiling faces. All available at Patreon.com/TreehouseOnAir when you subscribe to Treehouse Plus. Dan O'Malley, Trey Trenholm, and Raj Sharma with you. Inside the Treehouse, just a little bit more today before we close up. On Wednesday, February 12th, 2025. This story is, I think it's like a couple of weeks old. It's not super, time sensitive, but it's certainly one that I wanted to bring up because it's a story that Trey sent us, and all the stories Trey sends are special nuggets that need to be shared with the world. And also because of Trey's attitudes towards women today, I'm just curious to see if he can find a way to slam his rampant misogyny into this story like he's done so many today. There was a fire at a funeral home recently. Very, very devastating. This was in Greenwich. I think this is in the UK. I'm not sure. Nope, sorry. This happened in Rhode Island. Fire officials said a large fire at a funeral home in East Greenwich, Rhode Island, was deemed accidental. Crews from multiple departments responded to the fire at a funeral home. It had been established back in the 1800s. So it's been around for quite a while and avoided any sort of catastrophe until now. Fire crews were called to the landmark just before 4 a.m. And according to the fire chief, one firefighter was injured on scene, but only evaluated, not taken to the hospital. No civilians hurt, so no major injuries to living people. The funeral home operator said no bodies are at the facility's crematorium at the time of the fire. Oh, that's a shame. But he did say that any bodies that were on site have been removed from the premises. Look, I know death is a trying time for people. It's challenging emotionally, physically, financially, all the things that happen when death hits home. But I got to be honest, if my loved one is at the funeral home and the place burns down, I would like a discount on services rendered, please. And especially if the loved one wanted to be buried and then you accidentally cremate them in a funeral home fire, I'm gonna want that for free, I think. Right? They don't charge for that.
As an Indian, I agree with you. As a white guy, I'm ashamed of you.
Well, I mean, if your loved one is at the funeral home waiting to be cremated and the funeral home accidentally burns down, you should get the cremation for free, right? And if there's other people that were on premises, and if there were other bodies there as well, couldn't you at least get a group discount?
Yes, I would like to think so. I don't know who's the spokesperson that's going to ask. That's just an awkward conversation, but sure.
Tom Selleck.
From reverse mortgages to cremations, is that what we're doing?
From reverse mortgages to group cremations.
He needs a new agent.
And you got a mustache that good, you buy anything.
Yeah, interesting.
So just, something to keep in mind the next time, you have a family member.
How did you think I was going to turn that into something misogynistic?
Trey, I don't know how you do it. You just do it. You're like a misogyny magician.
I mean, there's no kitchen in there, was there?
I'm going. I'm never coming back. For all things Treehouse, while you can, go to treehouseonair.com. On social media, follow us at Treehouse On Air. For me, it's at the Dan O'Malley. For Raj, it's at Comedian Raj. And for Trey, or Trey Trenholm, at Trey Trenholm 1. At Trey Trenholm 1. I'll see you back in here, hopefully tomorrow, inside the Treehouse.